Hey everyone, and welcome back. So I have a couple of announcements to get to. Originally I was going to do actually a couple of videos this week so I could kind of stay on top of everything, but unfortunately I've been dealing with a bit of an emergency for the past week. So even today, I'm actually just going to go through some of the announcements. I'm not going to get into details. Do kind of have to move along. I definitely wanted to mention them at least, even if it's, not going into every last detail. So let's see. First up, a couple announcements. Actually, let's go through these first. So main thing, all right, an important thing. Grindhouse Releasing has announced that the 4K release of the Beyond is getting ready to ship. I think they're starting to prep, all trying to get them into boxes and all that kind of stuff. So. I think they're going to ship them out kind of in like giant bulks. So probably will be shipping for maybe another like week or two or something, but they are in the process. So actually we're going to have them pretty soon. And that is definitely exciting news. Next up, let's see, Kino has announced a 4K release of the comedy Road Trip. Just coming soon, that's all it says. But another 4K comedy. And then Synapse has released not details, but at least have announced some upcoming titles. One that I believe might be going up for pre-order soon. So none of them have release dates, none of them have details. But so first up, the 4K release after many years, the 4K release of the Deadly Spawn is actually finally we're very close to it coming out. They actually have the check discs in hand. That it's a disc that you get that you check. Honestly, just make sure there aren't any errors or anything like that. So once those are approved of, then they go to the replicator and it goes from there. So the pre-order should be going up probably within the next month. Maybe. I mean, I don't know how long the process takes, but let's just say, plus minus a month. And then other ones coming soon. They're just in the process very early on. So obviously we're not going to have any news for a while, but there's going to be a 4K release of Frankenhooker, 4K release of Street Trash, which is good news. I think was it that one? No, the next one, which I'll get to in just a second. 4K release of Street Trash. And just to confirm, Prom Night 2, which obviously we talked about a couple weeks ago, is officially going to be 4K. I figured it would be, just wasn't 100% sure, but it is actually going to be 4K. And, which wasn't sure at the time, but indeed, the original Prom Night is also going to get a 4K release. And that one is, let's see, they've done the 4K scan for it. Now they still have to do all the other, the restoration and all of that. So again, a little ways out, but it is indeed coming. So it wouldn't surprise me if maybe, Prom Night 1 all the way through 4, right? And then what they're coming out with, just kind of release them more or less at the same time. But anyway, luckily all those are coming from Synapse. And we do have the June titles for Scream Factory and Shout Studios. I'm going to get to those in just a moment. But first up, we do have the Vinegar Syndrome April titles, which are up right now for pre-order. Again, I'm kind of going to zip through these. I do apologize, but first up from their Distrapix line, which is one of their newer lines, the 4K release of Last Tango in Paris, the infamous film with Marlon Brando, which back in the day when that came out, it was the early 70s, it actually got an X rating, and they kept it. They didn't make any cuts. They actually kept the X rating. So that's up for pre-order right now. The next one in their Cinematograph line, this is an interesting one. I actually wasn't expecting this in this particular line, but there's actually going to be a 4K release of the movie Drop Zone, the one with Wesley Snipes. So kind of surprised that's in that line and not one of their other, like the, Vinegar Syndrome Ultra line or something like that. But, so again, that's up for pre-order right now. Next up in their Vinegar Syndrome Archive line is the movie Igor and the Lunatics. Actually, you know what? Sorry, let me back up. I'm going almost too fast here. Last Tango in Paris is going to be 2-disc set, 4K disc, and with included Blu-ray. Blu-ray is going to be Region A locked. Heads up on that. And it is up for pre-order for $44.99. And again, these are all the April titles. And then, okay, now let's get back to Drop Zone. Drop Zone is up for pre-order for $42.99, and that has, again, 2-disc set, 4K. Also with a Blu-ray. Again, Blu-ray is Region A locked, I think, because these are studio titles. And now we get back to Igor and the Lunatics, which is a Blu-ray release from 1985, right? 1985. This will be a region-free Blu-ray, luckily. and up for pre-order for $32.99. And then next up, we get to the 3 regular Vinegar Syndrome titles for the month. So first up is a double feature Blu-ray. Let's check, is it region-free? Thank goodness. Of let's see, it is Devil Doll and Curse of the Voodoo. Now these are the ones from 1964 and 1965, and that is up for pre-order for $32.99. 2 more left. Next up is a 4K release of the movie The Nesting, which, if I remember correctly, I think Scream Factory put out the Blu-ray of that like way back when. I think it was maybe been one of the earlier ones. From 1981, it's going to be a 2-disc set, so 4K disc and a Blu-ray. Blu-ray is going to be region-free on this one. Luckily, nice set of extras on it as well. Up for pre-order for $39.99. And then the final title for the month, which is actually pretty cool. We have yet another Lucio Fulci film coming in 4K, is the movie Murder Rock. And that is going to be a 2-disc set, 4K disc, with a Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray is going to be region-free. More Fulci in 4K. I'm loving it. Up for pre-order right now for $44.99. So again, those are the Vinegar Syndrome titles for April. And of course, those ship out towards the end of the month. And then finally, we get to the Scream Factory titles and the Shout Studio titles for June. Just a couple here. I'm going to do the Shout Studio ones first. Let's see, first one coming June 24th is a regular single release of JFK, only of the director's cut in 4K with an included Blu-ray, which also has the director's cut on it. Now the deluxe set, which came out, when did that come out? 2023, right? Towards the end of 2023? I don't know. Whatever it came out, not too long, a year and a half ago. It came out. Let's just put it that way. That deluxe set is still available if you still want to get it. So that has the 4K of the director's cut, and then the Blu-ray, the director's cut, and the Blu-ray of the theatrical cut, and then an extra disc full of extras. I think something like that. But that one is still available, or if you just want to wait and just get the single release. Single release, again, out June 24th, retails for $39.98. Coming June 24th is a 4K release with included Blu-ray of the movie Bring It On. I don't think it has any new extras. I think it ports over like older extras. I just want to do the reminder that Scream Factory, Shout Studio stuff, any Blu-ray that they put out is always Region A locked. So just want to give you the heads up for those of you outside of Region A. 4K, region free, 99% of the time. I think they put out like one title that for some reason wasn't, but all the rest have been, luckily. And then one more from Shout Studios is a 4K release of Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia, retailing for $36.98. Now that is only a 4K disc. It's not going to have a Blu-ray with it because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Kino still has the Blu-ray rights to that one. So again, this one is only going to be 4K. And then finally, we have 3 announcements in the Scream Factory line. First up is a steelbook release of the 4K version of The Return of the Living Dead, which retails for $44.98, set to come out June 10th. Now, I think, obviously it's the same 4K release they already put out. It's just in a steelbook. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I think I might be wrong. The steelbook might have been a Walmart exclusive initially, or is this a new steelbook? I'm not 100% sure. If you know, definitely let me know. But yeah, so that is coming out. Nice release too, if you haven't gotten it. And although it is missing the one song, it's unfortunately they couldn't get the rights to. They did. They tried. I have to give them at least credit for trying. All right, next up, these 2 I did mention, I think last week. Now they're official. Coming June 3rd for $36.98 is a 4K release with a Blu-ray release of George Romero's Monkey Shines. Which, just like Fulci, I'm always happy to get more George Romero in 4K. So yeah, I'm definitely excited about this one. And I really hope they can put out a 4K of The Dark Half at some point. I actually rewatched that just a couple months ago, and that's really grown on me for the years. Like, I've always liked it, but I think initially it was just like, yeah, it's good, but over the years, every time I watch it, like, more and more, I'm just like, man, I love this. Anyway, off topic, one more title, and again, this was the one that I had mentioned last week. I think it was last week, 2 weeks, I don't know, whenever I mentioned it. Coming June 10th, retailing for $36.98 is indeed a 4K release of Clive Barker's Lord of Illusions, and now this is only going to be a 4K release. There is not an included Blu-ray, and it is only of the director's cut. It does not have the theatrical cut on here, but it ports over all the extras, but it does actually have one new thing, which I do want to mention. It has an interview with Simon Boswell, the composer, who's a fantastic film composer, by the way. Now, I always prefer when they can put the theatrical cut and the, director's cut, deluxe cut, extended cut, whatever. Technically, those should, unless there's a rights issues, I do understand that. I always prefer them to have both cuts available when possible. And I kind of wish this had both, although I do admit I do prefer the director's cut in this case. But I can only assume that there's a rights issues why they couldn't do both, maybe, because this is the director's cut. Anyway, not that it matters. I'm happy this is coming out in 4K. And again, this is set for, what was it, June 10th. All right, so that's it for now. And there's kind of other stuff I want to get to. And again, I apologize I had to sort of zip through this. But again, some stuff I'm dealing with that I do need to just go and deal with. Kind of thing. Everything's okay, but it is just stuff I have to deal with. So anyway, let me know your thoughts. And as always, thank you for watching. And I will see you on the next one.